who else is growing a bit tired of seeing headlines like this on the news and on LinkedIn? Pharmacies closing at an alarming rate. The NHS in impending doom. I get it. The clickbait there is great. I'm scrolling. I want to click on it because I know I want to read it, but I don't. I want to have a good day. So I scroll past it these days. I think the important thing to note about all of this type of propaganda is that with the likes of great organisations like AIM and Community Pharmacy England, who are trying to improve the NHS funding at a government level, which I absolutely back and needs to happen. Even if we do get a cash injection, it's going to be a temporary fix on that side of the business. The squeeze of the NHS, which is relentless right now and it's not helped by the advancements of technology in the industry and patient behavior. It won't allow that to tighten. So for pharmacy owners now, they have to take it into their own hands. They have to make it work in different ways. They have to innovate. And that's what business is all about: adapting, surviving, innovating. As independent prescribers, you have the power to change the narrative. You can develop your own engaging clickbait that will help develop a new world of revenue for you. And if you're offering NHS services, it could easily offset those. So you need to see your IP qualification as a conversion key to unlocking great potential and turning clicks, internet clicks, into revenue. My name's Saam, and I'm the CEO and founder at Pharmacy Mentor. It's our mission to improve access to healthcare through pharmacies. And we're working with a growing number of pharmacy owners and independent prescribers to help them harness the power of their IP qualification and the internet. So over the next 20 minutes, I'm going to talk to you about the massive opportunities that exists for IPs in the digital space right now. I'm going to take you through exactly how a click on the internet turns into a patient for you and the tools that allow that to happen. Let's get stuck in. So let's just take a moment to talk about where we are today as IPs in the UK. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, we were essentially dispensers. Fast forward to today, and we have expanded our clinical role greatly. We're now diagnosing and treating conditions from hypertension to diabetes and much more. And it's reported that 26% of all pharmacists are now IPs. That's crazy. And when I was in the coalface, when I was working back in the day, I think I could only name 2 IPs, but every second or third call we get at Pharmacy Mentor is an independent prescriber. Now, not only has the scope expanded, so have our settings. So you can find independent prescribers in the community, GP settings, hospitals, and deeply integrated with the NHS framework. But it's not all smooth sailing. So while the clinical role expansion and revenue streams offer great opportunities for pharmacy, we're also seeing more complexities around clinical governance and increased training in this area. But looking forward, what's exciting about this area is even greater autonomy. So picture this: more digitalization, more telemedicine, AI integration, which is going to be it's going to be massive in this area, and a greater scope of offering different types of medicines. So the next 5 years is set to completely transform the way we practice and the opportunities available to us. Now, some IPs are already capitalizing on this, and they're capitalizing big. So you'll have seen a growing number of online pharmacies out there selling various different types of POMs for different types of conditions. What they've done, they've amalgamated their skill set of the IP qualification with a digital ecosystem that allows them to prescribe medicines online, dispense, and generate revenue in new ways. It's a superb model, and it's a model that millions of people across the UK much prefer to use instead of the NHS system right now, because it's more convenient. It's adapted to how they behave right now. So as an IP, the biggest opportunity for you guys right now does lie in the digital ecosystem that you create, not only to generate wealth, but to improve access to healthcare for the population. That's why you are a pharmacist. You're there to improve access to medicines. And the way in this next segment, I'm going to show you how it's going to be done. But the way I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you exactly the patient journey from problem identification. I have a problem that I need to treat, and how the journey that the patient takes, that then becomes revenue for you as a business, and the techniques and tools required to enable this successful journey. So the successful patient journey for this type of website is as follows. It starts off with the search, and then they go through a series of events before they end up paying for the treatment and engaging with your company for some days after. So let me take you through each of these steps individually that will help create a picture of exactly how you should set up your strategy that will drive revenue. So the first and most important stage is the search, or as I like to call it, existential crisis 101. Because in the vast sea of the digital realm, if you're not searchable, then you're like a chameleon on a rainbow. You're completely invisible. So how do you overcome this crisis of not being able to get found? There's something called keywords, targeting keywords. So I'm not going to get stuck into the thick of what keywords are, but think of these as like your breadcrumbs. The better you are at dropping breadcrumbs, the easier it is for patients to find their way to you. And there are thousands of them. Some big popular ones like Buy Viagra Online or Viagra for Men, and some smaller, less popular ones like How Does Viagra Make You Last Longer, for example. But the more keywords that you can target, the better, the more visible you'll be. But how do you know what keywords to target? Well, you've got online tools, really great online tools like SEMrush. That's what we use at Pharmacy Mentor. These tools and this software allows you to understand how big and popular these keywords are, these breadcrumbs. Okay, cool. So we know what kind of breadcrumbs, keywords that we need to target, but where exactly should we be dropping them? Well, the simple answer is everywhere, on every digital channel possible, and as many as you can. However, you should be dropping 90% of them on Google. That's where most of your patients initiate the search to begin with. Okay, so how? How do you get these keywords, these breadcrumbs, onto Google? So first up, and my absolute joy of the world, very sadly, is this search engine optimization. This should be your North Star. So if you're not investing in search engine optimization, it's kind of like playing hide and seek while everyone else is seeking elsewhere. But please understand that this is the most important tactic for online pharmacies and every other pharmacy business out there. It is the tactic that will help you build sustainable and consistent organic traffic to your website that will lead to conversions. And it is the tactic that you should be giving precedence over all other tactics out there. And for SEO to work, naturally, you need a website and you need to develop optimized content on a regular basis on the website. So all of your product and condition pages need to be technically optimized, and you should be creating new content on a regular basis through blogging. And I always suggest at least one article a week, so you can target one keyword a week, one breadcrumb. You can drop one breadcrumb a week on Google for patients to find you. I'm not going to go in too much deeper into SEO right now, but please take note, SEO is business critical. Another powerful way for people to find these breadcrumbs, these keywords on Google is Google Ads. Now, you got to think of these like boosters on a SpaceX rocket, for example. It will propel you quickly, but at a cost. Is it effective? Absolutely. Super, super effective. Is it sustainable? Your only strategy? Unless you've got Elon Musk's wallet, then I very much doubt so. Furthermore, with Google Ads, they kind of have the Google Ads police. They don't really like pharmacies because you're drug dealers, essentially. You have to be very careful when you're creating these ads. One small change on an advert, on the advert or on your website could lead to your ad getting banned. So, for example, if you're spending $5,000 a month on a particular campaign, I know that's quite a lot. Generating $25,000 a month in revenue, it's a very good performing campaign. One change on the ad, that ad could stop, and that line of revenue can cease. When we do marketing for these types of businesses, it's really important not just to rely on one purely on Google Ads. A multi-channel approach is absolutely recommended. Luckily at PM, Pharmacy Mentor, we've been through these pitfalls with Google Ads. So if you are doing Google Ads right now and you are having problems, you can talk to us about navigating these issues. But to wrap this up, the search, it's all about spreading those breadcrumbs, those keywords, as many as you can onto Google so patients find you instead of you finding them. However, in this vast digital sea, it's also about showing up like a VIP. So, if you were, for example, looking to buy Propecia online, and you came up with these search results, which one would you be more inclined to click on? Absolutely, the top one. In fact, that result right there outranks the other result by about 7 pages on Google. The bottom result is pretty much invisible. Nobody scrolls to the 7th page on Google, and that top one there is on the 1st page, and it's driving tons of revenue. This is pure SEO. SEO is what makes that top one look so desirable and so clickable. So it's all about showing up like a VIP. Following the click, the patient moves on to the next stage, which is consideration and engagement. So picture this as the first date. You've caught someone's eye, but they're not sold yet. You need to get them over the line. How do you turn that tentative curiosity into real engagement. So let's stick with the example before, where somebody is looking to buy Propecia online. So if your SEO is good, they're probably likely to land on your product page. So as always, when it comes to content and SEO, content is king. So that has to be the main focus. Help people learn about your product and your condition with the most up-to-date, relevant information. Include videos where you can, and also if you add yourself as the author, as an IP or the prescriber, that's also going to help build trust into the landing page where they land. Also, product reviews and social proofing, massive influencer for conversions. So try to get as many reviews as possible, because the more reviews, the more social proofing, the more likely it is for the customer and the patient to convert. So testimonials, user-generated content, and badges of approval, they're all there to say, yes, you're in good hands. Price also very naturally influences, so just make sure you're remaining competitive with the price. And live chat. I don't see this enough on these types of websites. Online pharmacies, I would always have a live chat functionality. I'm a patient, I'm about to buy a medicine, I have a question though. I want to chat, I want to be able to chat to the team in vivo, in live. So I always think that's a massive converter, something that builds trust on the website. And finally, is the overall experience good? Is the website fast or slow? Is it mobile optimized? All these things make a massive difference when they land from when they go from the search to landing on your website and engaging with your product. So to sum up, consider the consideration and engagement stage. It's all about convincing your customer that they're in the right place and they're making the right choice. So following this, and when the patient has now committed to you in their hearts and minds, they'll begin a consultation process before they go ahead and select their preferred treatment. Again, you have to focus on the user experience there. With a site like this, it's very important to ensure that you remain compliant. Of course, it is it's a pharmacy website. We need to make sure compliance is built into the website. But when it comes to conversions, you've got to think about user experience. Think about what the user wants. So they want the most quickest and streamlined way to buy this product. So keep the consultations clear and concise and as short as you possibly can. Obviously, you don't want to cut corners because this is a pharmacy. However, I'm talking with my marketing hat on, and user experience is so key to conversions. So how do you make sure you've got the smoothest UX on a website? Well, ideally, you need to work with an agency or a developer or a team who understand UX. But it's also about getting feedback, relentless feedback from your patients, from the prescriber that you're working with potentially, or the pharmacist, and molding the website into and the user experience in the right way. So patient feedback is really critical. Now at this stage, the consultation stage, we at PM, we believe that getting the patient to sign up following the consultation is the best way. Why? Because they've already committed to you and they've already spent the time filling out that consultation. So they're not gonna do the consultation again. So Again, it's about user experience. It's about how am I going to get that patient to sign up to my website in the right way, in the quickest way possible, and then for them not to abandon the consultation. Also, at this stage, it's really important that you have email marketing that should be developed along this journey too. So when patients sign up, they can opt in to sign up to your email marketing list, and they get added into the list, and then you can market to them at a later point. This is often missed by businesses and is super, super important to developing the longevity for this kind of business. Following the treatment selection, we've got the checkout and payment confirmation stage. So make sure you offer multiple ways of paying. Apple and Google Pay, they're huge. This is the most preferred way for paying right now. And we need to make sure the patient is able to track their order in a dashboard, and if they're able to contact you online. And again, that's why I really like the live chat functionality on this type of website. Once we've processed the prescription from our side, we're either going to send it via Royal Mail or DPD or the likes, or if you're a community pharmacy and you've given the option for them to pick up in store, they can pick it up then, or they can pick it up from an Amazon locker. Think from the user point of view. What's going to be the easiest way for them to get their medication? But the journey doesn't stop there. Far from it, in fact. What most businesses fail to do is infuse marketing at every single touch point of the patient journey. So for example, in the package, if you deliver it to them via Royal Mail, in the packaging, include a leaflet with a QR code. Scan me to review our service. Give them a 10% discount. Engage them at every single point. A day later, send them an automated email to say, how was the service that we offered you? Please leave us a review on reviews.io or Trustpilot. This is the way that you're going to build the social proof of this type of business, which is the most converting factor, most influential factor for this business. So it's all about consistent, continuous engagement. The other thing to note is that we underestimate the power of reviews, not just from a social proof and purchase influencer. We need to make sure we relish the bad reviews that we get too. Because if we get a 1-star review, yeah, it's a kick in the teeth, but you're a business and the patient is telling you what you need to do better. So these 1-star reviews, these bad reviews, that helps build your business. So they need to be, they're just as important as the 5-star reviews there. And also, if you've got email marketing set up, at this stage, when they've had the medication and they've utilized it, maybe they've purchased finasteride and it's a repeat prescription, send them an email 25 days later, you've nearly finished your medication. Here's a link to buy more. Marketing hack. So there you have it, guys. We've just gone through the typical steps in the patient journey and the enablers that allow that to happen. And ultimately, if you get this right and patients are engaged and happy, that will equal business growth. That's the rule for businesses. And let's not also forget the spice rack of our marketing journey there. And these can add depth to the flavor of the marketing package that you give them. I'll run through these rapid fire. So firstly, you've got PR. If you can develop a relationship with a online healthcare magazine, for example, Men's Health. That would be an amazing relationship, and you can get a backlink from that website, which is super authoritative. That's going to help massively build your SEO and drive traffic to your website. It's all about PR. Also, social media, very powerful tool. If you were going to budget on social media these days, I would probably budget on TikTok for the younger crowd, more engagement there. We've also got affiliate marketing, again, super powerful. Affiliate marketing is like, it's the I scratch your back, you scratch my back of the marketing world. It's an extra pair of hands to help you market and drive traffic to your website. Something to think about. Influencer marketing too. These guys, they're not just expert selfie takers. They are super powerful influencers who can drive really targeted traffic to your website. Another powerful tool there. And also local marketing. So mainly really if you're a community pharmacy or you're an independent business with a local presence, start off locally. So Sheffield, for example, that's where I'm from. If I was a community pharmacy and I was an independent prescriber or working with another prescriber, I'd focus locally, which is 500,000 people. It's quite big, and target that market first. Local SEO, local paid advertising. You don't need to spend as much if you're going to go the national compared to national. And it's definitely worth mentioning some detours and potholes along this journey. This is a really important slide because we've been in this game for quite a long time now, and there are some big blockers to this type of business. The first thing to understand is this is not a quick win at all. Far from it. This is a journey, and it's a hilly journey. It can be ups and downs, so you've got to be in it for the long run. There's no quick win on this one. And persistence and consistency is key. Also, no marketing or single marketing channel. Like I said before about Google Ads, very, very powerful. If you have that, if it's blocked, that's your business on the line there. So I'm all about multi-channel, multi-pronged approach because your patients are multifaceted, all have a range of different types of patients. SEO, paid ads, email marketing, social, really powerful. Also, make sure you work with a developer or a team who understand pharmacy. Otherwise, you're going to go back and forth. It's going to be very time consuming, and it can cost more in the long run. Another big pitfall is choosing the wrong payment gateway. So taking e-commerce, taking payments online for medicines. If you use like tools like Stripe, unfortunately, fantastic payment gateway, but can switch you off in a minute down the line. So there are more pharmacy-oriented payment gateways that you should consider and have backups for. And another common blocker, massive blocker, is make sure you have a strategy for content for this type of website, because you're going to be adding loads of products to the system and uploading products that requires a description, side effects, product image, a very good product image, FAQs. Who's going to do that? Make sure you have a strategy around that, because if you don't, then that's a massive blocker to getting this type of website out. And last but not least, not adapting. So we're a business. The digital landscape, it can be as fragile as a leaf in the wind. So you've got to remain adaptive, got to remain agile, and make sure you innovate. So at PM, how can we help? Well, we've been in this industry now. We've been in the pharmacy marketing and development industry for about 7 years. and we've been in the online prescribing world for about 4 years now. We know where the sector's going. 26% of us are IPs now. After year 26, we're all going to be IPs. So there's going to be a transformation happening in pharmacy. And it's why we built the Ultimate Pharmacy website. Essentially, what this system is, it allows pharmacists and IPs to get set up in the quickest way possible with the user flow and patient journey that I just described there. That scan code there, that helps you, actually that books you in to talk to us. But if you go on our website, if you type in the UPW on Google, I've put a breadcrumb, a keyword on Google, the UPW, and you'll see us top there, and you can learn about the system there. However, we do know that one size does not fit all. You have your own requirements, your own budgets, your own specifications. So we build bespoke systems also. So this is the UPW is kind of the theme templated version, but the bespoke version, we can build anything because we're PHP, Laravel, custom code developers. In terms of marketing, we're heavily experienced in the arena. SEO, paid ads, email marketing, 3 very big channels for this type of business, and we have experience in that. We're also partnered with Rushport Advisory. I don't know if you know Connor at Rushport. So we've built systems that are in line with GPHC compliance. Really, really big one. And again, another reason why, work with somebody who understands pharmacy, who understands compliance, because that's a massive one in this arena. And if you already have a website of this type, then we've developed a free website compliance check there. So if you click that link, I'll send you all a copy of this slide on LinkedIn potentially, and you can click that and you can type your URL in, and we'll check for free if your website is complying to the latest standards set by the GPHC. So please do check it out.